श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारंभं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। Verse number 19. So before we start, I quite it is very surprising actually for a person who took sannyas at the age of 8, when his consciousness of his own gender would not have been there. Right, at the age of 8, one doesn't know whether he's a boy or a girl. You're told that you are a boy, so you know you're a boy. You don't know the differences. For a person who is has lived a completely celibate life, to the depths of erotic description that he goes through, especially in Soundarya Lahari, it is unimaginable, which basically has raised many scholars to doubts in saying that was he really celibate? Did he not experience sex at all? Now, the point is that in our scripture, there is a very beautiful saying. It says, Yatha Pinde Tatha Brahmande. Yatha Pinde means that which is happening inside the body happens across this entire universe. How did our ancestors, our rishis, discover the concept of oscillating universe? They very categorically have stated that the universe keeps expanding. At some point, Apana Shakti, they use the word Apana Shakti, Parashara Hora, and he has written about this. That the Apana Shakti, now the Apana Shakti is basically it's gravity, the Shakti of earth, it is called, which means the power of the earth to pull things down. Apana Shakti starts pulling things back into the cosmos, into the unity, and it is absorbed into the divine and then explodes again. And they use the word explodes, Visfotan. You see, it is so amazing. How did they discover that? How did they discover that Arundhati and Vashishta are a binary system that is visible only through a telescope? Now, no archaeological records across the entire globe have shown us that there were any telescopes at that point of time. Despite that, they have not only told us what was the that they were a binary system, but also that there were times when that this point of rising of the Saptarishi, Vashishta would be behind and Arundhati would be walking in front. Thirdly, they have even calculated the time taken to do this. How on earth have they done that? Purely from self-knowledge. Self-knowledge meaning knowing oneself thoroughly, which means knowing the universe. Because there is only one consciousness that permeates this entire universe. And if I am that consciousness, then what is happening in that consciousness, that any part of it is part of me. See, if you stub your toe against a wall or against a piece of furniture, your entire body feels the pain, right? You don't say my toe is aching. Oh, my leg, you feel that pain across the body. You do not curse your toe separately. Why does that happen? Because this I sense is from the top of my head to the end of my toe. It is there as an unified, permeated whole. What I do not realize, I do not understand, is that this same I is permeated through this entire universe in every atom. What we believe to be inanimate is also containing consciousness. It is only that it is not manifest as much as it is in us. Having attained that oneness, or having been born with that oneness, we don't know. Having been attained or having been born with that oneness, the Acharya, therefore, has no knowledge that is not available to him. When we understand his writings from that perspective, you understand the greatness of Acharya. So we go to verse number 19. Mukham bindum kritva, mukham bindum kritva, kucha yuga madhastasya tatadho, kucha yuga madhastasya tatadho. Mukham bindum kritva kucha yuga madhastasya tatadho. Harardham dhyayedhyo, harardham dhyayedhyo, haramahishite, haramahishite, manmathakalam, manmathakalam, harardham dhyayedhyo, haramahishite, manmathakalam. Mukham bindum kritva kucha yuga madhastasya tatadho. Harardham dhyayedhyo haramahishite manmathakalam. Sasadhyah sanshobham, sasadhyah sanshobham, nayati vanita, nayati vanita, ityati laghu, ityati laghu. Sasadya sanshobham, nayati vanita, ityati laghu. Trilokimapyashu, trilokimapyashu, Brahmayati, Brahmayati, Ravindustanayugam, Ravindustanayugam, Trilokimapyashu, Brahmayati, Ravindustanayugam, Sasatyah Sanshobham, Nayati Vanita, Ityati Laghu. Trilokimapyashu Brahmayati Ravindustanayugam. Mukham bindum kritva kucha yugamadhastasya tatadho. Harardham dhyayedhyo haramahishi te manmathakalam. Sasadyah sanshobham nayati vanita ityati laghu. Trilokimapyashu Brahmayati Ravindustanayugam. So let us understand the meanings. Let us look at the meanings first. So he starts off by addressing her as saying that Hara Mahishi. Mahishi means the first queen, the partner. So Hara Mahishi. Hara is he who removes or he who destroys. He who removes or he who destroys. Hara. Papa hara, right? Removal. So similarly, so when we bathe in the Ganga, we say Gange Papa Harini. Papa Harini. Hara. The word used to remove or to destroy. Hara Mahishi. She is the destroyer. See, here he uses the word not Shivardham. He could have used the word. He could have used the word Shivardham. He says Hara Mahishi, the first or the most principal queen, principal consort of Hara. She is the destroyer. She is the part of of Paramashiva, which is the absorber of everything. Mukham is the face. Now, face is described as the Kama Kala Rupa. Kama Kala Rupini. Right? In Lalita Sahasranama, we have seen that name. Kama Kala Rupini. Mukham Bindum. Now, in the Sri Chakra, there is the Bindu. So the face, so the Upasaka takes the face of Devi and superimposes that on the Bindu. So again, we are still stuck with the worship of Devi. We saw the worship of her in the gross physical form, 4 hands and so on and so forth. From there, we have moved into the Sri Chakra. And in the Sri Chakra, we have seen the various parts and we are still there over there. Now he is describing this. And he says, Mukham Bindum Kritva, imagining, meditating, doing, right? Mukham bindum kritva, kucha yugam, your divine breasts. Now, obviously, I'm adding the word divine. Your breasts, kucha yugam, two yugam, your two breasts. Tasya adaha, below that. Tad adaha, even below that. Below even that. Harardham. So, below the breasts is the yoni. Now, what is the yoni? If you look at the Shivalinga, the complete Shivalinga is the linga and the yoni together, which is Shiva and Shakti together. So, the female energy is always described as a downward facing triangle, representative of the vaginal area. So, here he is, and there similarly, the male is always described as the upward facing triangle. So here he says, Tad adaha harardham. So here he is, while the physical description is of a physical body part, the way he has described is harardham, half of Shiva, half of Hara. Such a beautiful, see how he moves, he takes the mundane and removes the mundaneness of it and raises it to the spiritual level. That is the power of Acharya. So he takes here, now some of the texts, I have seen this in another text, it says Hakardham. Hakardham, while I can still give you an interpretation of Hakardham, because Ha, we have seen, right, they is a part of the Shodashi mantra or the Panchadashi mantra. So Hakardham means part of Hamsaha, right? Hamsa. So Hamsa. So the Saha part, Ha part of Hamsaha. Or if you can take the Adi Vidya, right? So in our normal, we have learned the Panchadashi through the standard Lopamudra style, which is the Kadi Vidya. Kadi Vidya means we say Kaila, Reem, etc., etc. The Hadi Vidya, which comes from Agastya, that has a different interpretation for the 15 letters. In that, the first letter is Ha. So when he says Hakardham, so the half of the Hamsa, because Hamsa by itself can be broken up into so Hamsaha, Aham. So that two parts, one together only they make sense. Similarly here, Shiva makes sense only when he is with Shakti. That we have seen in verse number 1 also. So he says, therefore, this represents the Manmatha Kala. Manmatha means Kama, Kamadeva. So we have seen Kamadeva Kala, Kamakala. Right? Kamakala is what? The clean Shabda. The clean Shabda in the Panchadashi mantra is called the Kamakala Rupa, is Kama Bija. So goddess in her Virat Rupa, in the Ishvara Rupa, when we are looking at, the whole world is covered with energy which is coming from the next line he says, Dhyayet Yaha Sa Sadhyaha. Sa Sadhyaha means that he who meditates, he who does sadhana, right? Sadhyaha, Sadhya means immediately. Sadhya Prasadini. Sadhya Prasadini. Some people have said Sadhya Prasadini. So, you know, the South Indian interpretation of Sadhya is, in Kerala especially, is to have bhojan, right? Well spread out bhojan. So Sadhya Prasadini means you have to give her a lot of food. That is not the meaning. Sadhya means immediately. Sadhya. Sankshobham nayati, attracts. Samshobhanam, Shobhanam, to attract. Samshobham nayati. Vanita is the Kama Shakti. Iti, this Ati Lagu, very easily. Lagu, easy. Lagu, when we do Rudram, we say Lagu Rudram, easy Rudram. Maharudram, Ati Rudram, right? All those are adjectives. Lagu here means easy. Lagu also means small. Because it is small, it is easy. You can digest it, right? Similarly. So therefore, here he says, ityati lagu iti ati lagu. Then trilokim api. Trilokim api, the most beautiful women in this world, Trilokim api, asu means very easily. Again, he uses the word Brahmayati. Brahmayati means here confuses, attracts. Both meanings can be there. Confusion. Because of confusion, we are attracted to the material world. Because of our moha, we are attracted to this material world. And therefore, here he uses the word Brahmayati. Ravi, Indu, Stana, Yugam. Indu means moon. Ravi, we know, means sun. Ravi, Indu, Stana, Yugam. Yugam, Stana is breasts. So what does this mean? See, it says that if you look at the Devi Swarupa in the triangle, after the Bindu, what is there? Bindu is formless, right? It is Shiva and Parvati together, Shiva and Shakti together. In the first level of formation that happens is that the triangle. When you are doing the Srishti Krama and you see the first level of triangle, the triangle, he describes it as the triangle formed between the two breasts and the vaginal area. Now, if you look at that triangle and says that this entire world is actually just those three, the sun, the moon, and the Agni. Because this entire world, material world, is driven by what? It is driven by energy. And where is energy? Energy is Shakti. Direct, immediate translation, Shakti, energy, Shakti, power. So here, very clearly, he uses a very beautiful analogy and tells us that so in the Sthula sense, we have seen that this shloka can be used to shloka. But Vashikaran of what? Vashikaran of all the material world, not of physical women. You're not trying to attract physical women or physical men of the for sexual gratification. We are talking of the other attractions that we have outside us. So very sharply he uses this word, saying that when you do Devi Upasana in deep meditation, you may become capable of attracting and subjugating this entire material world. But that is not why you are doing Devi Upasana. Why are you doing Devi Upasana? You are doing it to understand that all this entire universe has just been created, the organ of creation and the organ of sustenance, the breasts and the vagina. They are the organ of the sustenance and the organs of creation. And through them alone, she has just manifested in this entire universe. So wherever you see, whatever you see, it has come from that energy that she is. Hence, therefore, you say that Mukham Bindum Kritva, and where is out of all this? The Mukham. So you move away from this, the lower part, and move to the fire part and say, oh, I am now looking at the Mukham. And then say, that Mukham Bindum Kritva Kuchai. I rise up and I see the Mukham. And I look at the Mukham and say, this is the Kamakala Rupam. Devi has a Sthula Rupa in the Mantra Rupa. If you look at what we have seen in the Mantra Rupa, we have seen that there are descriptions of her in the in the Lalita Sahasranama Mantra Rupini, right? And then it talks of the three parts. Up to the face, there is one part. Up from the face up to the navel, there is one part. From up to the waist, there is one part, and from the waist downwards, there is one part, right? We have seen all those descriptions. Those descriptions of what we are talking here, these are basically the mantra swarupa of Devi. So when you look at the mantra swarupa of Devi, basically you are saying that you have moved away from the gross form to the sukshma form. Beyond the Kamakala Rupa, what is the next form? It is the Kundalini Rupa, which is the Sukshmatara form. Right? It is the Sukshma form, sorry. And then there is the Sukshmatara form, which is the Para, where she has merged into in the Bindu. So what the underlying principle of this is that this verse is that you have to meditate. And you can be attained, she can be attained only through meditation of her Panchadashi mantra. And you are reborn when you take this from this mantra itself, which is called her yoni. This yoni is giving us the birth of her, through her, to move towards, upward towards her bosoms. So be spiritually nourished, and then move into towards the face, towards her Agnya Chakra, where she merges this yoni with Shiva. So, if you can understand, Shiva Jnana Pradayini, right? In verse 727, in shloka 7, in name number 725, 26, I don't remember, 725, 26, 27, something. Shiva Jnana Pradayini. In the three worlds that we are talking of, the Trilokim here, right? Trilokim directly will mean beautiful women, this material universe. But if you look at them as the three states of consciousness, Jagrat, Sapna, Sushupti, then it prevails that she, in Ishvara form, she prevails through all these three in the form of consciousness. When you have deep sleep and you wake up, when you say, I slept, your body was unconscious, your mind was unconscious, or your intellect was unconscious. Who slept? How do you know you slept? How do you know that you are not dreaming right now? Because of consciousness. So this consciousness that we are talking about is nothing but Devi. That is what he is talking about. So the three kutas are the three Agnis, Agni, Indra, and Surya. And the three Bindus are also, therefore, you can indicate them as the sun, moon, and fire. And therefore, once we have been born out of this fire, we move towards sustenance through her, and then move towards the Kamakala Rupa and merge into her. That is the meaning of this particular verse. Any doubts, any questions? Okay, let us start with Bhavani Ashtakam. न तातो न माता न बंधुर न दाता न पुत्रो न पुत्री न भर्त्यो न भर्ता न जाया न विद्या न वृत्तिर्वमेव गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वमेका भवानी. We saw this verse. Today we have to see the second verse. भवाब्धाव पारे महादुःख भीरु प्रपात प्रकामी प्रलोभी प्रमत्तः. भवाब्धाव पारे महादुःख भीरु प्रपात प्रकामी प्रलोभी प्रमत्तः. कुसंसार पाश प्रबद्ध संदाहम गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानी. कुसंसार पाश प्रबद्ध सदाहम गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानी. भवाब्धाव पारे. So, bhava is this existence. Abdhi is abdha is ocean. So, bhavabdhi means the ocean of worldly existence, of material existence. Apar, apar means endless, without any border, without any boundary. So, in this boundaryless worldly existence, bhavabdha pare, mahadukha Dhiru, Maha, great, Dukkha, sorrow, pain, Dhiru, fearful. When does fear arise? Fear arises when there is two. Are you afraid of your toe? Are you afraid of your finger? Are you afraid of your own leg or your hand? Or if your hand is holding a knife, will you be afraid of your hand being stabbing you? You are not going to be afraid, because you and the knife, you and your hand, you and your leg are all one. Now, if I am one with the universe, where is the fear? But because I am not one with the universe, because I see myself as different from you, I see myself different from this table, I see myself different from this tree that I can see outside, or the crow that is sitting on the tree. I see myself as multiple. I have fear. And I have dukkha. Why do I have dukkha? Because all the time, when I see myself as separate, then I am all the time doing yoga kshema. Yoga means trying to run after what I do not have. And kshema is trying to protect what I already have. Gurudev used to say that our movement in life is only due to raga dvesha. We move towards what we like and run away from what we do not like. This movement of liking, disliking, this judgment that we continuously do causes dukkha and bhaya. Then he says, the meditator, the devotee says, prapata prakami. Pra, here the word is prakarshena. So, pata means having fallen. Prakarshena means having vishesha rupena, certainly or very, very definitively. Prapata, having fallen. Prakami, kami means full of desires. Prakami. Pralobhi, full of greed. Pramattaha. Matta is intoxicated, drunk with ego, drunk with the sense of me. You should look at chapter 15, verses 2, 3 of the Bhagavad Gita. Very clearly, he describes the person who is full of ego. He calls Bhagawan Shri Krishna calls that such a person asura, and says that such a behavior is called, such a nature is called asuri behavior. So, pramattaha, ku samsara pasha prabaddaha, ku bad, samsara, this worldly existence, pasha means bondage, right? So, Varuna Devata, or for that matter Ganapati, you find that they are holding a pasha in their hand. Pasha here is the noose or a instrument used to tie down. Tie down where? Tie down to the right path. But here what is happening? Samsara also has a pasha, and it ties us down to the sukha bhoga. So he says, I am bound to samsara pasha prabadha. Prabadha, not only baddha, prabadha, completely bound, right? I am bound by this sadaham, always, life after life, I have been bound like this. The Acharya in Bhajagovindam, he says that punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jathare shayanam, iha samsare bahudustare, kripaya pare pahi murari. He says that I have got fed up of this continued existence of 84 lakh yonis coming back and singing the same song, aham mama, aham mama, aham mama. So here is the devotee who has said that, yes, I need to cross over, but I can't do it on my own. I can only do it when you hold my hand. Gatistvam tameka bhavani. Only when you hold my hand, O mother, can I cross. I realize that I have fallen. I realize that I am full of desires. I realize that I have greed. I realize that I am intoxicated with my own sense of ego. These have caused me to be extremely afraid. I have fear of losing, fear of my body being damaged, fear of my ideas being challenged. I cannot swim across this entire ocean. I have been tied down by this entire ocean completely. And I am being perpetually tied down. I want to be free, mother. Please take me across. Gatistvam tameka bhavani. Avabdapare mahadukha bhiru prapata prakami pralobhi pramattaha kusamsara pasha prabadha sadaham gatistvam tameka bhavani. Only one small thing. In the text that I have sent you, it should be prapata. So just make that correction. Any questions? Otherwise, we can end today.
Guruji, in perspective of the shloka from Soundarya Lahari, which starts with Japo Jalpa Shilpam.
Okay.
How would you I mean, that is a method. I mean, that is a Sharanagati in a way.
Which shloka are you talking about?
Japo Jalpa Shilpam. We haven't done that. So I'm just with from the last class, the meaning of the this Bhavani Ashtakam and Japo Jalpa Shilpam. I just found a relationship. I thought they were not the same, but kind of.
Yes. So you see, one thing which is very interesting is Acharya is very, very consistent. He looks at what we are and he therefore describes it for us in that way only. So if you are taking the Soundarya Lahari, you can understand Soundarya Lahari from a very, very advaitic perspective or from a devotional perspective. In what is important in Soundarya Lahari is that he has given prayogas also. Prayogas meaning the methodologies required for the devotee or the aspirant to be able to cross over. And each of these shlokas has described a certain thing. For example, the use of the yantra, use of the Sri Chakra. Now, very clearly, he has given so many downward facing triangles, so many upward facing triangles surrounded by such and such, and so on and so forth. Then what do? Then you're supposed to sit down and in front of that. And what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to meditate. But for meditation, dhyana requires nothing. See, if you look at the Patanjali Ashta Yoga, so Ashtanga Yoga, then in that we see that is dhyana comes after the stage of dharana. So first you have yama, niyama, pranayama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, giving up of thoughts. Then go to dharana. Then only you go to dhyana. Dhyana is removal of that single-minded focus also. But our mind is not trained for that. Our mind needs to clamp onto something. So if you form, then what do I force? So you use a mantra. So as we move in the progression, you will find that he is moving from the grosser form to the more subtle form. So we have seen the physical form of Devi. From the physical form of Devi, we have moved to the yantra form of Devi. Then from the yantra form, we move to the mantra form. From the mantra form, we move to the sound, nada form, and then we move to the formless. That is the progression that we are seeing. Should we end? Shanti Shanti Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.